victory for Chino and Pablo. We talked about this being the team right here that will try to win it all and take matters into their own hands. But the drop spot roulette is not just for one team. Benno, Flixie, and Vico, they've had enough of Canyons Crossing. They go toward the north side of the map. Fowler, Adapter, Mansoor, they're the ones now getting surprise contested.
The issue for Benno, Vico, and Flixie as they find that last elimination onto the Lord is that they know it's just not worth dealing with the delays of being contested at Canyons Crossing. They'd rather take their bets elsewhere. And I like the idea to pivot. They have a very realistic chance of taking over the top three if they're able to actually play through their own strategies. But Pixie, Marius, and Vanya, every time they're on the screen, you almost anticipate that the Vanya move is going to follow shortly after. Marius, just what a supportive teammate. Tossing medkits their way, making sure that everybody has hippo white heels to play tag off Surge.
Yeah, essentially consolidating all of those extra heals into one spot. Siamzo Higgs, and even though Supernova Academy uncontested, they're sticking to the plan. They practice up until this point. They land over towards those RPs. They get some chests, but most importantly, it's how quick and fast you can kind of max out your brick material. And then they go right back on over to Supernova, where this time it's a little bit of a hot drop. Extra loot over there, but Epic, Paper, Victor B, that just wasn't a one-game wonder. They're going again at Cammy and iDrop. Body's already out, and that gives them a huge advantage. A momentum chip confidence at an all-time high as Victor B looking to go toe-to-toe with Cammy there on the other side, fighting for pieces, knowing he has his teammates behind him. He's ready to go all in.
Ever since Victor B was able to shut down Peterbot in the first lobby as yesterday, Jacob, it seems like he's been playing with an all-new level of confidence, and it's the most lethal kind of confidence a player could possibly have. Victor B still looking on to Kimmy and iDrop, barreling at the wall here, Pacer directly underneath. It's a lot of pressure, and there's nowhere to run. That is until Punk possibly decides to enter the exchange. Never going to be the big one from the big wall. He's struggling quicker and he's down. He's all up there as well. He's going to cover this.
The aggressive nature coming out of Puff. He's the one that locks in and gets a lot of the damage and elimination. He was the one that won Major 3, forcing that spot to roll down to Victor B, Epic, and Paper, but at least two of them are still alive. The IGL, the 6th-time FNCS champion, and with iDrop, Hottie, and Cammy rotating out of this, they have a chance here. It might not be a massive one, but a chance to survive, get Victor B back into the game, but you can see on the minimap, the zone is kind of telling. It might kind of center up this game instead of leaning one side to the next, but it's all about that north or south pole where these teams are going to have to rotate quicker than ever.
Different teams for Chino, for Doxy, and Pablo. Ever since they won that initial battle at Rangers Ruin, had full control of the Swarm. Now they're getting the priority access and double the trouble. Gonna enter the conversation.
I feel like that was best case scenario in terms of exotics, considering their playstyle. Yeah, Slapberry Fizz could be good, extra yields. Yeah, a Wrecker Revolver, the exotic could be good, but the way these guys fight, two different one-pump shotguns could possibly change the game, especially since they ended yesterday with a win and 19 eliminations. They're trying to channel that. Art continues to take the fight towards the north side of the map. Goofy, Vortex, and Mountain, they're the ones they had enough of throughout the day. And Art, yeah,
they're scrappy, and that's the big thing here, is that Art South was full. They realize it. And Goofy are just barking Surge off of Queasy from a distance. So we're going to take the battle to them. We don't want to waste any more time. If issues continue to pile up elsewhere, Epic well might have just managed to demise the hands of Cole. So it tells me that Peterbot, Cole, and Ritual, they're still on the move. They're still looking at third party, any instances they can get their hands on. But Salco, Art School, first they got to deal with Oceania. And the longer this draws out, Jacob, the worse it is for both of them.
Yeah, when they won their major championship in Major 2. It was through aggression. It was through running down teams, forcing them back to the lobby, whether they liked it or not. They're trying to channel that here, but it's just not as easy because every one of these teams, regardless of the region, are one of the best teams in the world, which is how they qualify to this stage. Goofy, Vortex, and Mountain, they're just not going to roll over. They're going to fight with every fiber of their being. The Vortex takes a good shot. Shield goes out the window. Arc continues the pressure on that other side. South was there to back them up. Goofy just kind of gets tricked a little bit. Damage continues to pour in. Southco and Arc are feeling more and more confident with each second passes in this fight. But Arc might have bit off just a little bit more than he could chew. 40 HP or less is all he has left.
A little bit of over-aggression possibly spilling through there from Arc, and that's going to give Mountain, Goofy, and Vortex much more priority inside of the box fight, but teams are continuing to collapse around the map. Venom, Flixie also looking to establish a little bit of a surge strategy. It comes as no real surprise that some teams are still looking to just trade knots from their surge-based positions, but again, when teams are caught up in these encounters, they don't have any other choice but to fight their way through. That's what School Arc and Silco are looking for, but they need to have commitment. Vortex, Mountain, and Goofy just continue to delay. It is a worst-case scenario for both these teams.
From the off-spawn fight, taking down Tayson, they're now putting their aggression on the Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. They got that first elimination already on the IGL, leaving Agers and Pollo with the back foot. And it's not only that team they have to worry about. If you look at the minimap, the north, the south, even the east has third-party potential written all over it. Pollo is taking a lot of that pressure, and this is exactly what I warned you about. When you have that one-pump potential, they're immediately going to put it to use. Down goes Pollo. Doxy, Pablo, and Chino are looking to take over Game 9.
It's less about the one-pump potential for me, Jacob. It's more if you see Doxy, Pablo, and Chino win that on-spawn as quickly as they did. You never know where they're going to come from. These guys are experts at executing the roam strategy and finding their surge through sheer elimination, firepower, and Agers left to pull back to Demon's debris. But this is like starting from square one. Two builds. We can see a little bit of where things went south here. Checking back in with Brodoxy, finding that initial knock, leading to the elimination on the Pollo. It's just disastrous right now for Acorn.
Not just them, though. No Savage. He was knocked. Chaps is trying to get back into it, but he's going to fall as well. Him and Reason just go down to Snowy and Sod. Ryu, he was eliminated early on, but they have to watch out. The third party's now looking to crash. They know they hurt it. That's Reed, Cooper, and Curly trying to make up for lost time. They were able to get the revive off, but Sod stays sliver of HP, looking for survival. The launch pad comes out, so they have to abandon ship. Cooper sees it into the sky. This is his only chance. They cannot let him survive because they need the point. They need the surge, and they're going to grab it all.
Curly and Cooper, just the perfect tag team to nail those players. The moment that they try to escape, third parties are just so vicious, and it's crazy to think, Jacob, at how much action is really taking place inside of the storm.
Oh, no, I saw what happened in the feed, but now we get to see it here. Flixie down. Vico's trying to fight back. He gets the elimination onto Tay-Tay. Rido's essentially going to be by himself. You see him lurking around. Benno just runs into the brick wall. Rido is...
Speechless! I can't believe we just witnessed that! Vico, he's still in their sight, and yet, somehow, some way, they're the ones sitting waiting for Battle Bus to take off in this lobby. Iyamzo clicks and hits, drawing us back into Supernova Academy. But Jacob, this is preposterous. What is taking place?
I feel like all three majors was kind of like leaning towards one thing. A lot of these towers are surged with trading shots, but when you come to the global championship and things don't work out, you have to adapt. And you're really seeing a lot of these teams adapting at its finest. Marius Vanya, Pixie, from the OXR HQ. This is exactly what you're talking about. Consolidating the heals early on the game, 3 med kits in the inventory, extra med miss. So now, even though they have to really stay on their healthy bees, the Blueberry Fizz, and that Launchpad means they can the need is a long step before they have to land.
It's all about just trying to stay distance. They don't want to be scouted out because they're soaring in off these rotations. But picks, Darm, Demons just continue to impress. You would never believe that this is their first ever LAN experience. They have played with so much confidence throughout the entirety of this week. It almost feels inevitable before they find their victory royale.
Darm put 60 points as a solo, the most of any other player. Taco, we have 8-time champions. We have 7-time champions. We have 6-time champions. We have some of the best players in the world. But it's Darm, the new kid on the block, that's really putting on a show here for his team. If they can continue this pressure, you know, I think that something can happen here when the score is over at the end of the day. Only time will tell. Non-resign and Alex, they haven't moved away from their draw spot too yet. The zone has kind of helped them out, but now they're going to get a farther pull than they've ever faced so far. And the only big question, seeing nobody else really around them, is how much surge do they have?
At least have that rip pod incoming. A little bit more resources, a little bit more utility they can possibly utilize, but heading towards the top of this mountain range, Anon Bounds have spotted out those players a little bit further east from where they're located. So you have to anticipate that there's going to be a team looking to set up a crouch sneak play. You can never be too careful. You got to check every single corner in day 2.
Cannot rapid bolts rotating on over, trying to get as close to the center of the zone as possible, give themselves a little bit of elevation to work with, not too much. They don't want to be kind of the focus of the lobby overall. Steady Yakko Panzer, same thing for them. They already got their mountaintop. Just at the edge of the zone, though, Steady's using that bush to his advantage, not even a full box.
If you don't respect the player, you gotta respect the gameplay. Maybe Steady can win over this French audience. Maybe he can be an honorary, nominee for somebody to cheer for here, because they've really been playing lights out this weekend, Jacob. They deserve a little bit of credit for what they've been able to put up. But right now, it's all about Anon going in for dime, trying to shut down Steady and Yapko. They don't want to find any sort of rhythm.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, because you saw that stat. Yapko, with 2 different versions of the AR, he has the most damage in the lobby, making sure that they can play these games out with flexibility. They can play these games out with space and positioning, because he is making sure they are almost always above that storm surge threshold. And it comes from positioning like this. Remember, Taco, they land at the Kappa factory all the way towards the east, so they're making their rotation a huge focal point of their game plan. So to jump on board Clicks, Pigs, and Iyamso, still rotating in from the north side of the map. They're being trailed by King Phaser and PH Sin, which is not a comfortable feeling, because King Phaser and PH Sin love to fight.
It's not only that, but look at how much material they've been having to burn on their way in. Not only that, but they're also just announcing to everybody else inside of zone already that's looking back. Oh, there's smoke going up. Oh, there's definitely at least one team approaching us from the flank, so they don't even have a chance to try and even posture more towards the inner section of that edge of zone. And FaZe and King VH in, that's the last team all behind you, because for the reasons you just mentioned, Jacob, they love to fight.
They do so as a full trio. So it's almost like a hope for Iyamso and Higgs or any other team positioned nearby that they're above the damage threshold, because that's one less aggressive team that you do have to worry about. But you're seeing when it comes to our top 10, 2 more teams have went down. Still got Malibuca's team alive, 332 points. He's only 2 points down from 8th. 2 more points after that for 7th. A little bit more of a run to get into the top 6, but with that player and team already down, it's a realistic chance. Uncontested has proved to be fruitful, but oh my God. The Invitational champion has to figure out a way to fight back, but that Praise on the other side. Visuals a minute. They have to be nearby, and especially now more and more teams are focusing in on the distance. Steady has to fight.
Still overhead, underneath, they're trying to break through, leaving this territory, but how Can they actually stop them the moment they move back here? So basic numbers is immediately trying to apply a little bit of system damage, maybe get some shots off, but revisiting what was going down with Quincy and Higgs, they're going to be the ones to get the jump onto Asia. A little bit too insulated. That's going to be an immediate knock into the elimination.
Yeah, Razzle got frazzled by Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs, but they're not giving up. And this is a change-up with another knock, an elimination going over to Yamzo. It all comes at a cost because Clix goes down. Higgs is trying to stay alive, and he does just that. Yamzo helping save the day, and that's the big part from this team. Because remember, there was a moment yesterday. They got a knock. They got an elimination on the Kanata. Higgs wanted to push over. He wanted to fight that fight 3v2. The rest of the team said, nah, let's rotate in. These guys have come for a comeback.
But Pablo, he's black man standing. Still looking to see if he can find him at 50. Right next to him. Pablo tucked way into a corner. He just has a whole lot of options to escape. What a shot! He's going to be put down into the tank. He's going to be able to revive him. A nice punch. But
I love how they're willing to fight the best of the best in the entire world, and that's Victor V's legacy. If y'all remember way back when Arkham was even still playing, Coney Crossroads, Victor V said, "This is my drop. I don't care how many championships you have, Vic. I don't know how many championships you have, Arkham. You're gonna have to go through me." And it's full circle. Now they're on the same team, and that confidence for Victor V is at an all-time high.
this is a much more familiar sight, though, for Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache. Arguably, their best loadouts at this point of the lobby so far here today. And Mustache, Swizzy, Queasy, definitely still being very conscious of what's not too far behind, but Yamzo and Clix, they're forcing their way into these edges of zone, and they just don't have anything to work with. The last of their materials being expended. Yamzo even opting to try and fall further back, hoping that the Mets can buy him enough time, but Pump, Baka, Pars, they're already in zone, Jacob. They'll hold this for as long as they want.
Yeah, and since they're already positioned in zone, like you said, it makes it an easy decision for Pars to kind of go by himself. He knows his teammates are watching his back to try to get that loot as fast as possible. Yamzo knows they're closing in on the distance. He's trying to use his crash pad to escape, but you
not escape NA West as they take down Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo, and their struggles continue. Just
Asking for way too much for Yamzo to wiggle his way out of that one. Even if it hadn't been Baka, Pars, and Pump, you can see there's still several other teams in the area that were bound to lobby focus that solo the moment that they spotted him out. So watch me though. We're going to get a little bit more active here, trying to funnel teams around them. They want to see if they can make a play. So switch slightly higher up on the elevation, utilize some of this natural terrain. But they're still holding teams back. They don't want anybody rotating through them. Blocks, separate angle hold there too. But right now, they've got a little bit more time. Calm before the storm.
I think that's a little bit of an understatement, the way some of these games have been going on, especially today, where more and more teams are realizing the position that they are in on that leaderboard. They're realizing one of the only ways to come back is actually contesting that high ground, making sure Mustache, Swizzy, and Swizzy don't continue to run away with a tournament. I mean, they're doing the same thing. Him and Braves get active early on. They get another elimination on the mini. The Stars just continue looking around. Every team that crash pads through the zone, they're at least landing 1, 2, 3 crucial shots. Which where you see the difference right there from Toyota, Yuma, and Rice. It's because they use the Flowberry Fizz with the crash pad to cover more ground, get higher from the sky, and make it harder for them to get tagged up.
A little bit of a look back into what went down with Brazil. Phaser actually winning out, getting a good knock onto Cooper. That's going to leave a bit of a entry point for Southwell Arc and for them. Just completely forced back. The interruption so steep, but up on height. Watts, he never had a chance. He's going to have to depend on Malibuca to get him back to safety, but they're going to have to forfeit another team bound to try and jump immediately to them. But hey, Malibuca somehow brought back without much of a challenge, and that is actually insane. fitness and underneath. That's the real problem.
It's not just Surge, it's active Surge on top of that. Alex and Designs, they're trying to rotate away. They get some shots, but they're still 160 below. Every 7 or so seconds, 25 damage pours out, and you don't get knocked. You get straight eliminated. Crash pass, Blueberry Fizz, they're doing what they can to rotate towards the zone, but it's Queasy, it's for Dash on the other side, and versus Eddie. Now Booba has no choice. 128 below the damage threshold. Queasy, a sliver, it's all up to Mustache.
But Mustache knows how to play his solo. He can clutch up big stuff. He just needs a few more plays to continue. It's in first place. Luka, one ping, still underneath that Surge threshold. They're trying, they're so desperate. Everybody knows it too. They're trying to allow the opportunity to let these guys break through their battle. But this is so he's still fighting. He just needs players to fall around him.
Like if anybody can start making such no Queasy, no Swifty, they're not in this lobby, and that means that no team is able to claim that high ground. Pixie, Vanya, and Marius. Last time we seen them on this high ground, they weren't able to confirm. But this is a second chance for them. And this is a big chance because we're still into the top 15. They have no eliminations from Mercedes with the Queasy. They only have 2 placements.
This is how you close the gap.
They're certain to have seen what that elimination feed looks like, though, but Demas, darn pigs,
They control the loop. There's no real surprise, but they know they've got to keep a hold of that one side. They're immediately going to start making their way towards it, but they still got to be careful. Eyes overhead. Verstappen solo. He'll be forced to drop the ultimate low. Malabuka freezing that quickly underneath him. He's only has he's trying to get as much as he possibly can. He's just so quiet in the background.
Yeah, he's kind of waiting for the zone to force him out. Let all these teams bypass him on this rotation and hopefully try to get some sort of a sneak attack. Peterbach Holden Ritual still alive in this game as well, but their material count rather low. A lot of the teams being affected by the high ground and the pressure that they keep pouring down, but at least they're 134 above the damage threshold. When it comes to Storm Surge, I think they're good from here on out, and even Pixie from up above getting another knock on to Toyota. Alex picks that one up, so good going on over to him, but they're just pressuring over and over and over, whether it's an AR, the double pump, they're not letting any team look up. It's an issue.
Alex resigns from the lockdown. They might be able to pick up
You,
but they
but they
got already picked up
got
Demons, who essentially cut them off. They've completely surrounded Oceana. They're going to be the ones to overtake the front side of Zone. And with Dog leading the charge, spraying back next to Pump and Vodka, but no one dares to challenge, pulling underneath.
That was a good time to take him out. There are 12 placements worth of points still left, more than half still on the leaderboard. Resigns trying to go in. They lose Alex along the way. Underneath, they have to turn back on Kanata. They're wreaking havoc on the low ground. Resigns falls all the same. The whole team gets sent back to the lobby. Even Baca's feeling it. First have to go on by himself. They can take nobody got a chance to look up. They're denying opportunity after opportunity. Marius, Pixie, and Vanya could go all the way.
Without any
We knew height was probably going to default to Vanya. They refused to give it up. They're still looking to bring this one home. Kanata has a solo. Marius with another elimination. Just carrying all the resources back to his Carver. Vanya down to a 5-0 bill, but they could reach a little bit further. He can extend that height take. Pixie
thought he could maybe try. He's got to be right, and they're causing so much catastrophe. But Pixar and Demons, they might be willing to take.
I could count on one hand how many healthy teams are still left in this game. Kanata, no shot. He's trying to get as many placements before he eventually does go down. Vanya, I'm not sure what happened, but he gets knocked. 2 players up on the high ground. Sphinx trying to battle back, but Pixie gets dropped. As well, Armin Demon, the underdogs, are looking to take it all. They might be one of the only trios left in the top me, but I spoke too soon. Dark goes down. They have to get the revive. They're the only team on the low ground in the zone.
They don't have a chance. They can't push through.
They know
They need to find a way to break open.
That's a big
Big shot.
That's
All that they need is a laser. Standing on Pig still trying to see where's his last player. He's looking to chop the bases. Where's the bases? He's trying to see the outfield where he is. Will he fall? He was hoping somebody else would deal with falling. But Pig still deals. This is raining through Pig Stevenson. Don't bring it on.
From underdogs to top dogs. And with Weezy's swinging fast going down early, that shoots them straight up that leaderboard. They look like they've been here for years. Frankie, we need to know their secret.
I don't know what their secret is, but I have to say, all year in Europe we've been looking at Kickstarter and Demon. This trio that seemingly came out of nowhere and have been impressing us ever since. I mean, this has been just an incredible event for you so far, Dom.
Yeah, it was incredible to be honest. Like, I mean, Southwest Global when we played this good, it's crazy.
And tell me how you've worked on your game through the year, because when we first saw you competing in Major 1 as a trio, you were so aggressive, and now you know how to not over-aggress, you know how to play the game right through to its end. What have you learned along the way?
I mean, we were how coach spent, so like we learned a lot and what to do and what to not do.
But he's taught you very well.
I have a huge question, but just before, je crois que Avoc a beaucoup de fans ici. You have a lot of fans there. Do you have a word for them? I love you, Al. Thank you for support. Merci beaucoup, mon petit chat. Il vous adore.
Playing in
Majors online is one thing, but how do you manage to achieve this success on land?
We played the game actually like the best we can, like, and we just won it.
Do you think you can go even further and do the back-to-back?
Sorry?
Do you think you can win the next game too?
We stay 20 minutes, no?
We will see. You're going to have a bit of a break and a well-deserved one. Please, Leon, have it down. Show your appreciation.
We have to
Take a bit of a break, but don't go anywhere, because in a few minutes we're going to assess what we've seen so far.